With Bocchi the Rock Season 2 officially announced, the eternal debate is back. Bocchi versus K-On. And of course, both sides are about to get pissed again. So to save everyone the trouble, I'm settling it once and for all, in a death battle style showdown. The two shows will go head to head in multiple categories to claim the title of Best Girl Band Anime. And first up, we're starting with the protagonist. Who would win in an actual fight? So let's introduce the two combatants for today, starting with Hitori Goto. Hitori Goto, commonly known as Bocchi, is a shy introvert girl that never got a chance to make friends in school. This led her to try guitar at a young age to develop her skills. Kindergarten passed, elementary passed, and she's now in high school with a social life comparable to My Hero Academia fans. However, unlike me, she actually has a successful YouTube channel where she posts some sick guitar covers. But that changed when she was out of the blue asked out by Nijika to cover in as their band's guitarist, as their guitarist disappeared faster than scalpers with concert tickets. After the performance, she joins the band and finally makes the friends she always wanted. Transformation. Bocchi seems to be able to transform into multiple forms such as the Godzilla form and a slime form. This could help her in a death battle situation as it gives her flexibility on what type of attacker or defender she wants to be. Shredding skills. She probably has the same amount of shredding skills as Slash. Could be helpful in a match. Manipulating space-time continuum. It seems that Bocchi is able to bend reality. She has been seen to be able to traverse through different dimensions as seen in some episodes. Ninja skills. She can disappear. This could be really helpful when it comes to escaping near-death situations. Now, introducing the other combatant for today, Yui Hirasawa. Yui Hirasawa, or just Yui, is the lead guitarist of her band. She didn't even know how to play a guitar at the start of high school. She kinda just wings it. Similarly to Bocchi, she was kindly asked to join a band missing a guitarist. Bro, I swear, how do they always not have a guitarist? Isn't it harder to find drummers and bass players? I don't know, just stick to the script, I guess. Unlike Bocchi though, Yui didn't even own a guitar at first. So in true wholesome anime fashion, the band took part-time jobs to buy her iconic Gibson Les Paul with that sweet sunburst finish. Now, Bocchi may have some intimidating skills, but don't slouch on Yui's skills either, or you might just regret that. Perfect pitch. She kinda just has it out of the blue. Some may say that it was just lazy writing to explain her quick progress as a guitarist, but they're just haters. If she's able to randomly learn perfect pitch, who's to say she doesn't also instantly gain the ability to manipulate space and time? Ability to lose weight. She has the rare ability of being able to eat so much calories, and despite that, never gain weight. How is this important to the match? It's not. I just thought it was a cool fact and a way to add 20 seconds to the video. Rat bite. Remember that one time where the band was on a fair and Yui was eating corn? Yeah, she got teeth of steel for sure. Don't even need to mention the fact that with the amount of sweets she consumes, she doesn't even have cavities yet. This could easily be a lethal attack move if she wanted to. Ui-chan. Not a skill but definitely an arsenal on Yui's side. Yui's sister is just a monster. She has the ability to be able to perfectly replicate anything she sees, from guitar skills to cooking and probably even martial arts at this point. Look, I could see this fight going both ways, but at the end of the day, I got to give it to Bocchi. We've seen Bocchi's inherent destructive force. Yui, although she has potential going toe-to-toe with Bocchi, I just don't see it yet. She's unproven. I don't think Yui has yet to show that she has the it factor to be in the GOAT debate for this battle. Now, how does this affect LeBron's legacy? Stay tuned. Now for the fun part, comparing fan bases. K-On, the anime, released in 2009, which is pretty much ages ago at this point. I don't even know if K-On fans still exist in 2025. Here, if we look this way, we could see an endangered K-On fan that is being kept captive in this sanctuary to keep it safe from extinction. Please, no flash photography, you might startle it. On the other hand, I don't think the average Bocchi the Rock fan was even bored when K-On was released, let alone have coherent thoughts. There are more Bocchi the Rock fans though. So, how will we determine the winner for this? The answer is easy. If each fan bases were Pokemon cards, which would be rarer? And I think the answer would clearly be K-On fans, hands down. Seeing a K-On fan in the wild is like seeing a good Rent-A-Girlfriend chapter. Trust me, I've read over 100 chapters. Don't ask why. Animation is an interesting category to compare the two animes, as taste for animation is really subjective. People can enjoy different things, and for anime, different animation styles. So it's not really fair to compare them. But that's not gonna stop me from doing it anyways. K-On's animation is amazing, especially considering that it came out 16 years ago. A lot of the animation done by K-On still holds up to this day. It's really fluid. The characters are really expressive, and the level of design there is with the instruments, especially in Season 2, the attention to detail is otherworldly. But let's be real, it is showing its age. Compared to modern anime, the cracks start to show. Sometimes there are uncanny point of view shots of the characters. And it does show that 2000s chibi art style, which is rare nowadays. And if you ask me, aside from the exceptions like Lucky Star, the color palettes used in that era of anime are more dull compared to those used today, and it shows in K-On. This isn't really a bad thing though, as it gives K-On its own unique charm. The faded color palette, the slice of life genre, and the moe themed art style all add to the warm and calm vibe the show has. On the other hand, Bocchi the Rock embraces being modern, especially with the incorporation of CGI and different styles to elevate the comedy of the show. Due to the unseriousness of the show, it isn't restricted to just one art style to stay consistent compared to other animes. And that's what Bocchi is, inconsistent in a good way. This could be seen when they try to portray different tones with different art styles. Take for example episode 6. They used a more sharp and gritty art style with the salespersons talking about how the world is messed up and blah blah blah, which was used as a setup for another Bocchi meltdown. Bocchi the Rock uses the medium in a way unique and rarely seen, and with that, I would have to give it to Bocchi the Rock. The most important part in the identities of the two shows is most definitely music. K-On and Bocchi the Rock are girl band theme animes after all. However, similar to animation, it's really hard to compare music as it is often subjective, unless you know music theory. That said, even without breaking out a whiteboard and drawing chord progressions, one thing is clear. K-On gives you diabetes, while Bocchi the Rock gives you an existential crisis. Now, I'll only compare the main albums of each show to make things easier as K-On has too many songs under the show. These include character songs, non-featured albums, OSTs, and whatever they cram into the discography. Plus, I've also recently learned that Bocchi the Rock is similar and has released a bunch of albums since I last checked. So, to make my life easier, we're just sticking with the essentials. Now, you might be wondering, how am I gonna be comparing these two? Considering my track record of whether it's deciding which protagonist would win a death battle, or ranking fan bases based on their Pokemon card rarity. So naturally, I'm going to compare these albums based on how well they fit the show, and how realistic it is for a high school band to actually produce them. Since they are both high school bands, I think the level that we are looking for should be around that level. It should sound amateurish and actually feel like an album made by high school students. And this is where K-On shines. K-On's albums feel more raw and unfiltered, in a good way. It really feels like a couple of high school friends that got together because of their love for music. It really has that rawness, as if it was only recorded in one afternoon, considering it was recorded in one afternoon. This rawness is amplified by the random ad-libs the characters say during the song recordings. It really feels like a homemade album that you could find in a garage sale. On the other hand, Bocchi the Rock's album is way more polished. It feels professionally produced. And this isn't really a bad thing. It just ends up not having the same rawness that the K-On album has. It feels perfect. To add on to that, the making of the songs in K-On felt slightly more realistic, considering the amount of practice they did on screen. However, since Bocchi the Rock only has one season so far, I really wouldn't hold this against Bocchi the Rock yet. When it comes to music, I'd have to give it to K-On, which puts us at an even score of 2-2. After breaking it down across 4 totally unbiased categories, the result is clear. It's a tie. So to answer the question from the beginning, which anime is better? And the answer is, does it really matter? K-On and Bocchi the Rock may be both about girl bands, but beyond that, they're completely different shows. From their animation, to their music, to their characters, and even to their fan bases. Comparing them is fun, but there's no real reason to pick a winner. What actually matters is that we have multiple great music animes to enjoy, not which one is better. Instead of arguing over which show reigns supreme, the real debate should be which one has the worst Twitter fanbase. Spoiler, it's probably both. Oh, and subscribe. I'll try to post something that doesn't take 2 months this time, so yeah.